There's no idea more absurd than the idea of progress. This idea of we've come so far has been crammed down our minds for 300 years, well over 300 years, by villainous money powers and the liberal world order. And it's so absurd if you actually take a step back and look at our lives. It's like, yeah, we have smartphones and modern medicine and OnlyFans and fucking purple hair. But we have far less in every way that actually matters. We work more than medieval peasants and have far less communities, a relationship to God, a relationship to meaning, a relationship to our own soul. Everything in the modern world feels atomized, disconnected, and disoriented. And I know I'm not alone in this feeling, in the sense of go outside, look around. How many people are well turned out, living in thriving families and thriving communities and connected to a higher spiritual purpose of life? Very few. In fact, I was just talking to a lady in the sauna yesterday. She was from Russia. She's traveled the world, and she's having a hard time living in Denver because she's never experienced homelessness like this. In fact, in East Europe and Russia, they didn't have homelessness like this. And she came and visit the main public library downtown because it feels like a zombie-infested wasteland of drug addicts just lining the streets. I went there yesterday. It's out of control, right? And it's like, there's basically two enemies to the soul and to the culture and to the people of the West, and that is money powers and the liberal world order. The money powers have no problem exploiting labor and importing millions of third world, migrants to work in their factories as long as it increases their bottom line. And they'll promote, free markets and laissez-faire economics and, maybe like family values, but all they care about is their fucking bottom line, really. And they will undermine the spiritual dimension of life forever, and they will create hell unless we do something about it. And this is the thing, I'll say this about capitalism, and a lot of people think, oh, you're a communist, right? And I'm like, I'm not a communist, I'm not a socialist, I'm not a capitalist. I despise all of them. They're all materialistic in their aim. For over 300 years, we have only measured progress by economic growth, by economic prosperity. It's fucking lame. It's like, what do you want, riches and maximum ease? Fuck you. I want vision. I want maximum flourishing. I want total human flourishing. I want eudaimonia. I want brotherhood. I want culture. I want soul. I want love. I want God. I want something far more than fucking economic policies and all these idiots, these dim-witted, mid-wit idiots. They only think about economic concerns and economic policies. I'm like, you're going to undermine everything that actually fucking matters. And then the other dimwits, the other idiots out here is the liberal world order that just want globalism. They want diversity. They want equality. They want multiculturalism. What they're aiming at is this very materialistic idea of social relations that is ultimately totally flawed. It's a lame goal. Diversity actually undermines the core of social bonds, of ethnic identity. And it's like both of them are undermining the things that actually matter. And that is a goal that includes the spiritual dimension of life, right? A sacred vision of what does it mean to be me, of what does it mean to be in community, a sacred vision for our people and for our tribe and for ourselves. When we're connected to a sacred vision and connected to the spiritual dimension of life, only then will the economy be in check. Only then will the materialistic horizontal plane of existence be in relationship to the vertical plane of existence, to transcendence, to God, to community, to culture, to value, right? And without being connected to a sacred vision and a sacred ideal, everything in life is going to feel atomized, meaningless, materialistic, disconnected. It's because it's disconnected from what actually matters, the big questions of life. My God, do we want just feeding tubes and like VR tech dystopia and like a multicultural world that absolutely destroyed all that was sacred to a people? I don't think so, my friends. The only way that we can fight against the degeneracy and decline of modernity is for men to come into a sacred vision for their lives and find the others and to build the brotherhood that can support larger tribes. Like, men and women must do this together, although I usually speak to men here. And I'm not a total anti-tech guy. I like the phone. I think the internet's awesome, right? I think modern medicine is great. It's just like, it has to be in check to a more holistic vision of excellence, a more holistic vision of flourishing. And this is what leaders need to come into. We need to reconnect to a holistic and sacred intention and vision for our lives and work to embody it. And then hold a sacred and higher intention and vision for our communities and work to build it. And when you do that, you become a true king. A true king is connected to transcendence. He's connected to the sacred. He lives in service to his people. And guess what a king does? Guess what a leader does? He communicates the vision constantly. He holds the vision and spreads spiritual nourishment to all around him. Think about how different a king is from the leaders we see today that seek to exploit, that seek to manipulate, that seek to undermine and seek to destroy Western civilization, whether they're conscious of it or unconscious of it, because they're usually just ruled by idiots. So this is what we need to do as men, right? Come into vision, embody that vision, spread that vision. Come join me. Come join the other brothers in our men's community. There's a link below if you want to talk to me about it one-on-one. Whether or not you join us, it's like, start building your wolf pack again and start building your community again, my friends, and orient your gaze upward. It's time to aim the arrow above this fucking horizontal plane of meaninglessness and hit the target. Hit the sun state, my friends. Hit the state of flourishing. And it's like, not everyone can awaken to the goal, to the sacred vision of life, to the higher dimension of life, and that's okay. This is what leaders are for. This is what leadership is about. You think when you run a business that all your employees understand the goal and understand what you got to do? No, the CEO drives the freaking ship. Go be a CEO, my friends. Grab the vision, embody the vision, spread the vision, and let's overcome these dim-witted, two-sided, dystopic despot leaders that are, leading our world into ruins. Anyways, like this video, share it with a friend. Peace.